In the last video, I showed you 27 ways to lose a project, and in this video, I'm gonna show you 27 ways to lose a client. Now, the reason I'm making this video like this is because I wanna show you the things that you might be doing that are causing you to lose projects and causing you to lose clients. So everything I'm gonna teach you in this video, I want you to flip it upside down where you're gonna not do these things, you're gonna do the things the right way. Number one, you can lose a client by your guys showing up late to the job. When I was a superintendent, I hated when the guys would show up late because that means they would get behind schedule. Or worse, if they missed and didn't even show up, because that would definitely get us behind schedule. Number two, don't get into arguments with your clients. Construction is a place full of trials and tribulations, and this is the time where your character is gonna shine. So in those moments that things are hot, they're backcharging you, they're giving you issues, they're giving you heat, you gotta take a deep breath and you gotta overcome with patience, with wisdom, because these are the times where you can actually impress your client. When things are going wrong, this is when you can actually flip the script, where if you do things right and you service your client and things aren't going well, but you come in and save the day like the knight in shining armor, the knight in the white horse, you could be the guy that they look at and they're like, oh my gosh, like when things go wrong, like I want this guy on my side. That's the image you want to convey to your client so they can keep wanting to use you. Number three, you can lose a client when your guys consistently do bad craftsmanship. I've had subs that although they show up and they do things right, their craftsmanship is kind of crappy. So like I'm always telling them, hey, fix this, fix this, fix this. So at the end of the day, you can avoid some of these trials and tribulations by doing things right. Number four, your guys having bad attitudes. There's nothing quicker that's gonna get you kicked off a job site or not getting the next job is your guys always having an excuse, always having an issue, always having a problem, always putting a complaint. That's the worst. You want action takers. You don't want people that are always having bad attitudes. I've literally had people tell me, hey, don't bring those guys back to my job site. It sucks. Number five, by getting behind consistently on the schedule. So these guys make schedules for a reason. Sometimes they have liquidated damages. Sometimes they have issues that they have to open up on time because the store needs to start selling. I don't know, whatever the reason is. You don't want to be that guy that holds up the whole job. And there's typically, if you're in the middle of the job, there's typically people that come right after you. And if you keep not showing up on time or you keep not finishing your scope or whatever the reason is, you keep getting behind schedule, you're pushing everybody else back. So everybody's going to hate you. Your client's going to hate you. The owner's going to hate you. You don't want to be in that position. Number six, this one is my worst. Having excuses. If you want to lose a client real quick, have a bunch of excuses. Always have a story, always have a reason not to show up on Mondays. The truth is, Sunday your guys are out there drinking, getting banged up. Monday, they're not going to show up to the job site. But when your client calls you, you don't answer the phone. You give them excuses. Oh, I don't know. Let me call my guy. Let me see what happened. I'm not sure. La llanta. In English, that translates to my tire went out. How many times have you heard that? Put it in the description below. Number seven, this is another one. Don't answer your phone. There are so many times when I was on the GC side, I would call my subs and they wouldn't answer. And you call them and you have an issue, you have a question, you have an important thing that you need from them and they're just not answering the phone. Either they're on the job site, they're busy, or they're just plain ignoring you. There's times that my PM, he's calling one of the subs and the guy's not picking up. He's blowing him up, no answers. Text, phone calls, nothing. He's not responding. He goes, hey, Danny, give me your phone. He calls the guy and the guy picks up. And he's like, oh, you pick up Daniel's phone, but not mine. This is the truth. This is the reality. The subs sometimes, for whatever reason, they get busy, they have an emergency, whatever it is. I'd rather you be straight up. Tell me what's going on. Tell me why you're not staffing the job. You're going to hear it from me, but at least we're on the same page and we know what's going on. And you're not keeping me in a mystery. That's worse. That's like 10 times worse. Remember, your PM and your super are the ones that decide who gets the next job. And your client, if they're a developer or an architecture firm, they're going to recommend you or not recommend you. Number eight, always make up stories. No, so a lot of times construction people tend to be like the best storytellers and liars. Oh, the reason that the wall's crooked is because the angle of the sun and the moon don't align. I've heard like the wall's crooked because the masonry guy. Oh, the walls are crooked because the masonry's crooked because the concrete guy. Oh, the reason the paint looks like this is because the drywall finish wasn't done right. These are all stories. These are all excuses. These are all lies. Don't tell stories. Just be straight up. Be transparent. People will appreciate it more. They're going to appreciate that from you. Number nine, install the wrong materials. All right. So installing the wrong materials, not adhering to the plans, not installing what you submitted in your submittals. These are all really pretty bad things to happen on the job, because then later what the position you put your clients in is, crap, this guy put the framing all the wrong gauge. Oh, this guy put, did the paint, he already painted the space, but it's wrong. Or, oh, he did this wrong and he put the wrong floor. You don't want them to be like, hey, look, it's not what you submitted. redo it, boom, and that's gonna cost you a lot of money. All right, number 10, always get into problems with your clients. Now this one is probably the quickest way to never get another job again from your client. Always getting into a heated debate. Those are real quick things that people are gonna cut you real fast. So you never really wanna get into heated debates. There are things that will arise on the job all the time, trials and tribulations. This is when you need to use your how to win friends and influence people skills. This is when you need to go above and beyond the call of duty. This is when you have to kind of go the patience, the wisdom, and use wisdom when things come up, because you never wanna piss off your client, because they'll never wanna hire you again. Number 11, throw temper tantrums. Remember when you were 2 and 3 years old and you didn't get your way and you just got really upset and you just started yelling? Well, keep doing that. No, don't do that. Grown men, I've seen grown men, 60-year-old men, temper tantrum. You don't want that. You need to be a serious man, good character. It's men and women that have composure, that have self-control, are seen as more valuable. So you don't want to be the guy that's always throwing a problem, putting his hands up, screaming and yelling, because then they're just going to see you as a joke and they're not going to want to hire you again because you're just problematic. Number 12, change order your clients to death, like every single penny. So no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to change order them to death. Actually, if you want to learn how to correctly write a change order and the strategy that I used so I wouldn't lose clients, go ahead and click this link here so you can watch that video. But basically, there is a strategy to change orders. Change orders are naturally occurring things that happen in the job site. There's things that have to get rebuilt. There's client changes. There's inspectors come and make additional requirements. There's things that are missed in the plan review. Things always come up. And these are the times that you have to understand how to help your client and at the same time make money doing it and not lose money. A lot of people, they either A, don't charge any change orders and they just eat the cost and they just to help the client, or B, they overcharge their client. Every single little patch, every single little screw they're going to charge them for. Now, I'm not a fan of doing free work, but I'm also not a fan of nickel and diming your client, because then they're going to be like, all right, well, these people are going to screw us over because they're going to keep charging us and charging us and charging us. So I'd rather go with somebody else that's not going to do that. So don't change order your clients to death. All right, so on that note, don't change order your clients, but make sure you do like and subscribe this video and on my channel so that you can get notified of more videos. Make sure you click the little like button with the little thumbs up. That's going to help the algorithm so you can get more of this. Number 13, make your clients look bad. All right, so you never really want to make your client look bad. You always want to elevate your client, put them on a pedestal, make them look like they're the boss, like they know what they're doing. If you're a sub and you're going into a meeting, you never want to make your GC look bad, like, oh, he's not doing it right. Oh, he didn't oversee this. Oh, you never really want to do that. If you make him look bad to his owner, he's not going to give you another job because you're shooting him. You don't want to do that. If you are the GC and you're dealing with the owner, you never want to make like the wife look bad or the husband look bad or whatever it is. You never want to do that, because at the end of the day, these are your clients and you have to satisfy them. Number 14, making way too many mistakes. Mistakes cost money and they cost time. So whenever you make mistakes, you got to go back and fix it. So like if you build something wrong, now you got to go back and demo it. So that's, you build it, now you got to demo it and you got to rebuild it. So essentially you're doing the same thing 3 times. You don't really want to do it. You don't really want to do that. So do it right the first time. Don't make mistakes. Don't put the wrong materials. Make sure you have good craftsmanship so that you don't have to go back and redo work. Number 15, having bad craftsmanship and having bad quality. So this kind of goes on number 14. You never want to be known as the guy that takes corners or takes shortcuts or that doesn't do things right. You want to be known as the guy that his quality, his craftsmanship is impeccable, because 1, it advances the schedule, and 2, you are going to be known as somebody of quality. And this is going to allow you also, this is like a bonus tip, a little pro tip. Later, when they see that quality, they're going to want to pay you more money. When you submit your bid a little higher, they're going to be willing to pay you more money because your quality is better. That's just how it is. You get what you pay for most of the time. Number 16, don't adhere to the safety rules. One of the things when I was a super that I hated was when guys wouldn't wear their hard hats. And the reason I hated it was because when my boss would come to the job site, the owner of my company, he would rip me a new one whenever he saw unsafe things happening. And his pet peeve was the hard hat. I mean, I care that these guys don't get hurt and stuff like that, but for him, it was a financial issue. These guys get hurt, then there's legal issues, there's workers' compensation issues, blah, blah, blah. There's delays on the job. I was obviously an employee, so I didn't think about all those things, but he's right. So he would come to the job site, he would rip me a new one. Oh, why doesn't that guy have his hard hat? Why doesn't that guy have his safety glasses? Why doesn't that guy, da, da, da. I was in a position where I had to rip those guys a new one because they were ripping me a new one. And you never really want to put your client in a position where you're constantly problematic. You want to reduce the problems, increase the good things. Number 17, using crappy or the wrong materials. So whenever you start a project, you have to make submittals. Those are the things that are going to be installed. Those are the materials that you're going to use. So make sure that whatever you submit, you use. Secondly, make sure that whatever you do submit, whatever materials are shown in the plans, you're the expert. If there's a better way to do something, let the client know. You might know and say, hey, look, I think we should do a prep to make sure we level everything off. I don't think we should use that thin towel because you're gonna see the imperfections. We should probably use a little bit thicker towel. Guess what? It's gonna cost more money. Not that you're gonna pay for it, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna let the client know, hey, listen, I think we should do this, this, and this. One, you're gonna be an expert. Two, they're gonna get a better product. And three, it's gonna be in their hands. So they might not wanna pay more money, so they're good with it. Number 18, causing your client to waste money on a job. You don't want them to waste money on change orders, having to fix issues. If there's a back chart, you wanna just take care of everybody's money. I've seen scenarios where like you get the plans and you go through them and you find a bunch of missing things. But what the people do is they're like, oh, I'm not gonna say anything, so I win the job and go cheap. But then later they come in and they're like, oh, that's not their change order. Oh, that's not their change order. When your client finds out that you knew all these things ahead of time, but you still screwed them over, they're not gonna be very happy and they're gonna notice that you're not a team player. I don't know if you've noticed, but all of these things revolve around helping your client, being a good character. If you're a sub, helping your GC make more money, helping them do things right, getting your client happy, like everything revolves around that. The way you do it in business is you help your client so that the byproduct is you make money. And that's how you got to live your life in terms of business. Number 19, do not invest in the relationship with your clients. There's a lot of people, they neglect their current clients. And then they're looking for more clients and new clients and new clients. They're always looking for the new shiny object. And what happens is these guys, you've wine and dined them, right? You've dated them, right? You've taken them all the way through where now they're using you, right? But now you forget about them. You don't go visit them. They haven't seen you in 6 months. You're going to the job sites and doing the work, but the people in the office, the estimators, the project managers, like they forgot you. They don't even remember who you are. And you don't want that to happen. You want to keep nurturing, fanning the flame, because you want to keep solidifying that spot, because anybody can real quick come and take your spot. This is all in my 8-Figure Contractor Academy, all these strategies to get your foot in the door. So if you want to learn how to do it, you want to learn how to become a preferred contractor, all these strategies come together in my academy. So I'm going to put a link right over here and in the description below. Number 20, cause delays on the job. If you cause delays on the job, you're never going to get more work again. If you're building a house or a remodel for somebody, they want to move in already, they're paying mortgage already. So you don't want to cause delays on the job, because delays equals loss of revenue or loss of money, or it costs your client money. Number 21, crappy supervision. Crappy supervision is going to guarantee bad work. It's going to guarantee that the guys don't show up on time. It's going to guarantee that the guys take a bunch of cigarette breaks. It's going to guarantee that the guys aren't going to do what they're supposed to do. So make sure whoever you put managing your job, make sure they're doing a good job. Number 22, not getting along with other trades. So you want to get along with everybody. You want to get along with the electrical guy, the plumbing, the drywall guy, the architect. You want to get along with everybody on the job. And specifically, if you're a sub, make sure you get along with the other trades, because at the end of the day, you guys are working together. You got to help each other out. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's the name of the game. A lot of times, the electrical contractor might be homeboys, they might be buddies with the PM. And if he tells his guy, hey, that drywall guy sucks, like he's always causing me a problem, he's always like giving me an issue, guess what? You might start getting this bad reputation where maybe they don't really want to use you on the next one. So you always want to make sure you get along with everybody. Number 23, don't staff your jobs sufficiently. If you don't have enough guys on the job, you're going to get behind on the schedule. And earlier I talked about delays costing money. So you always want to make sure you have your staff there, they show up on time and they leave at the end of the day. Don't let them leave early. Number 24, this one's really good. Not finishing the job until the end. I can tell you that almost every single contractor does this. They do the work really well up till when they're almost done, they never really finish it. Or they finish it like they put their attention somewhere else in the next job and they never really spend the time to finish it correctly. So make sure that if you do the work, take it all the way through the finish line and even after the finish line, so that your client can say, wow, this guy finished on time, he did the work, he expedited the schedule, he has great craftsmanship, and he took it all the way through the finish line. Number 25, not being able to figure things out on your own. So there's a certain level of problem solving abilities that you should have as a contractor. The architect's going to draw the drawings and the engineers are going to give you the specs and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to be on the job site and figure out issues, because no job is ever perfect. There's always things that come up, there's always challenges, always conflicts, and you have to be always a source of expertise. The owner, the client, the architect, whoever it is, can rely on you to be able to figure things out. If they're always having to figure things out for you, you're probably not going to get that much more work in the future. Number 26, by not submitting paperwork on time. It's very frustrating on the PM side when you're asking your subs for their billings. You're almost begging them like, hey, I want to pay you, but I don't have your AIA application yet. Or when you're asking them for their schedule of values, or you're asking them for I don't know, their submittals, and they're not giving them to you. It's so frustrating because it does delay you. It makes you do more work. And nobody wants to be having to follow up and add more things to their to-do list to remind you. So be professional. When they ask you once, respond right away. All right, number 27. Stay tuned after 27 for a bonus. So number 27 is by not being professional. So you've gotten all the way through and you've won the client over, you won a project, and you started doing more projects for this client. So you kind of have a client already, right? But now you're going to lose them by lack of professionalism. You might put a good first impression, but when you're on the job, are you submitting your stuff on time? Are you showing up to the job site meeting? Are you looking like you don't know what you're talking about? All this stuff comes in to your level of professionalism. You want to be a professional contractor. And if you keep doing things the same way, you're going to get the same results. And here's the bonus. In the next video, I'm going to show you something I learned from my old boss, which is work on your business, don't work in your business. Too many contractors are stuck in the day-to-day, supervising jobs, making the deliveries, and they're not able to do the revenue producing activities. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to free up your time. I'm going to show you how to build a real business so you can actually have freedom and make more money. Let's go.